Welcome to the Office of Economic Development Virtual Business Information Session. My name is Margaret McGee. I'm the Business Services Manager. This is the second of 3 business information sessions. Today we will welcome Ms. Lisa D. Alexis. She's the City of New Orleans Office of Cultural Economy Director. We will also have Ms. Lynette White Cullen. She's the New Orleans Business Alliance Vice President of Small Business Ecosystem Development. They will share today information about their organization, the Open NOLA grant for live entertainment venue support, and the InvestNOLA programming for high growth businesses of color. Please hold all your questions to the end. We'll do a question and answer section. So now I'll go ahead and turn it over to Miss Lisa Alexis. Lisa, do you want me to put your presentation up or the flyer right now?
The presentation if possible, the plan if possible.
Okay, can you see it?
Yes.
Okay, I'll go ahead to the slides. Lisa?
Yes, you're waiting for me?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Margaret, for having me join, and thank you all for showing an interest in the presentation on today. I'm Lisa Alexis, and I serve as the President and CEO of the New Orleans Tourism and Cultural Fund. The New Orleans Tourism and Cultural Fund Corporation was established and formed through what some of you may be familiar with, the New Orleans Tourism Marketing Corporation. That entity in past years has provided marketing on behalf of the city as a destination place, as well as providing support to cultural events. In May of 2020, on last year, we had the opportunity to realize a win-win from 2 different standpoints. What has occurred is the New Orleans Tourism and Marketing Corporation has been absorbed into New Orleans and Company and now heads and manages all of the marketing for the city of New Orleans as it relates to destination tourism as well as convention center activity. And NOTMC became the New Orleans Tourism and Cultural Fund, NOTCF Corporation. What this will do is it will allow this organization to proceed to now invest directly into the cultural economy. So the funding that we receive, which comes from hotel occupancy taxes, will now go directly through forms of partnerships, grants, and sponsorships directly into the hands of our cultural industries, our culture bearers, as well as our creative practitioners. So starting in last year, we have been in a real great position to support the marketing and attraction of our city, as well as support the cultural economy of our city. And with that, we have a presentation, which was the economic development plan for our cultural sectors that was developed on last year as we were established and voted in through ordinance by City Council. Moving to the very next slide, it just speaks to a letter from the mayor, which speaks to the idea that I've just shared with you all of the opportunity of having more allocated dollars to invest in our cultural economy. And if we can move down to the next slide, or Margaret, would it be easier if I moved the slides as we flow through?
So you're able to share your screen?
It either way is fine with me. If it can work with us just moving through the slides as I just give an overview of New Orleans Tourism and Cultural Fund Corporation.
Yeah, just tell, right now, do you need me to go to page 5?
Yes.
I'm sorry, is this is where you need to be?
I haven't seen it change on my screen. Maybe others can chime in, I'm not sure. Right now, I see it on the first page.
Okay, let me see.
And
Yeah,
while
it may
Mhm.
be because what's happening is right now I have 3 different screens, so I see it moving. But I guess you guys, let me see.
Not a problem. Or if you want to share it, that's fine. If you want to share the screen, it all works, and I can definitely share the good news of the opportunities we have for our cultural economy with and
Okay,
without the presentation. Yes, I'm listening.
okay. Do you see it moving now?
I do not. If anyone else does, please say so in the chat.
Yeah. What I'll do is I'll try to give you the permission to share your screen,
Okay, great.
and that way you can control it.
All right, that works. That's fine.
Okay, you should be able to share your screen now.
Okay, no. Now, with doing so, does everyone see the screen moving?
We still see your picture.
You see my picture of, do you see the economic development plan?
No, we just see your video.
Okay, all right, you all. So sorry.
I'm not sure why.
Let's see here. 1 second. I'm going to. I'm not sure what's taking place, but I don't want to impact your time. So
What I can do is just share the information with everyone via email.
certainly, okay, that is fine. So picking up with that, I just wanted to share that the New Orleans Tourism and Cultural Fund Corporation is a newly established corporation that is its mission is to, through partnerships, sponsorships, and grants, support the cultural industries, the culture bearers, and the creative practitioners here in our city. How? We have a staff and a team that is here to provide you with information on the different types of grants that we offer. And our information, for those of you who are would rather maybe look rather than listen to me as a talking head, our website is www.notcf.com. Again, our website is notcf.com. On that website, it gives you our mission, it gives you the type of organization we are, and then it also provides information on who would qualify. The reason I am here today is to share with you one of the opportunities that we have in granting. We have different forms of grants. Oh, thank you so much. So with our grants, and if you're able to click on the grants header that is right there next to the home, which would be wonderful, it will speak to the Open NOLA Venue Grant. Perfect. The Open NOLA Grant. This grant that we're offering gives a maximum of $6,000. The purpose of this grant is to help businesses, venues, live entertainment, but not just live entertainment, but any of your businesses that may be open to utilization of sharing and utilizing your space as a platform for cultural artists. You would qualify for this type of grant. It gives, of the $6,000, it gives $2,000 towards any PPE, COVID safety supplies that you would need to purchase, or maybe personnel costs for persons who would be checking for COVID compliance. And then $4,000 of the $6,000 would be utilized for entertainment bookings or cultural bookings. So you don't have to, put into the silo of entertainment just music, but any form of culture. If you have readings, if you have literary activity, if you have culinary activity, visual arts. I'm trying to think of so many in our gamut of opportunities that you may provide. Any form of visual, culinary, entertainment by way of music, song, theater, dance, preservation as it relates to any architectural information or rehabbing that is taking place, as well as arts and crafts, any original artwork that's being done. If you are utilizing your space or would like to utilize your space in the business that you're in to uplift and support cultural artists, you may do so and you may apply for this grant. And as I said, it is $6,000, a maximum of that grant. And we're doing this to really assist our businesses and venues with the opportunity to open back up for business and offset some of those costs in doing so. And at the same time, providing an artist an opportunity to earn money, to monetize their work or merchandise their goods. That is the Open NOLA Venue Grant. However, we also have other opportunities of grants as well. Currently, we have the mini grant that is open as well. And these are for smaller projects. And what we have found a great interest in over the past couple of months, this grant has been a high interest to our traditional culture bearers, to our Mardi Gras Indians, our baby dolls, our social aid and pleasure club, whereby they are applying for those grants to help offset some of the costs of the beading of their suits, of the materials and supplies that it takes to prepare the beautiful suits that we see during Mardi Gras and other traditional times of the year, St. Joseph's Day and the like. And it helps our traditional artists have an opportunity to monetize their art as well as they book and travel throughout not only the United States, but throughout the world. So the mini grant has been utilized for persons who are maybe having a startup idea and opportunity. Those are the two grants that we are offering at this time because we launched our grant program in May of this year with a budget of $1.2 million, and we have awarded up to $1.1 million at this time. Margaret, if you're able to scroll down a little bit more, I'd like to share. And if we'll hold there, I would just like to speak to, there is a level 2 and a level 3. The level 2 are for mid-level projects from $2,501 to $10,000. There's a level 3, $10,000 to $20,000. And those are grant amounts that we like to stay within at times because then it allows us to award so many more with opportunities. However, you do not have to limit your application to that level. If there is an idea and a partnership that you would like to create, you may apply for a grant for higher than $20,000, and it will be brought under consideration and review before the board for that opportunity. Margaret, if you could scroll down a little bit more. There are grants, terms and conditions, but then also our grants that we have awarded as of the September 30th of this year. And it is on our website at notcf.com, but listed here as we scroll slowly, it will show you the different grants that we have awarded. We have awarded at this time maybe upwards of a little over 90 different grants. It shows what the grant was, who was the sponsor, and the amounts awarded as well. And that is open for everyone's viewing. Why are we doing this? We believe the city is who she is because of the culture and because of the tourism that takes place, and the people who flock here to New Orleans is because of our culture. And we want to support in every way possible the means to support your enterprising ideas so that you are able to have an opportunity to be supported in the endeavors that you have. So we scroll through those different grants, but I just want you to know that we are open to all of the creative ideas. We are not here to do the programming. We are here to support your enterprising idea of programming, and that it just means so much to us to be able to. I believe this is a historic level of funding that has been provided directly to cultural artists from our tax dollars from the city of New Orleans, and we're excited and we want to do more. And in doing so and sharing that with you, we had a budget of this year that was conservative. The 1.2 million was conservative because we are in a pandemic year and we weren't sure how strong tourism would rebound. But I am happy to say, in looking at the hotel occupancy till now, we are on an uptick and we are moving forward with more and more revenue coming in. And this is based on revenues received just as of July. So as those revenues and tax reports continue to come in, we see a growth, and that's awesome because we are already in our budget season at the City of New Orleans and the New Orleans Tourism and Cultural Fund Corporation. We too must submit a budget to City Council to be reviewed and approved. And the budget that has already been approved by the NOTCF board has doubled down on what we have budgeted for this year. We are allocating a double portion of 2.6 million towards our going directly into the cultural economy on next year through grant funding and partnerships. And so we're putting our money where our mouth is, but we're putting our money where the city thrives, and that is in culture and through tourism. But tourism, I believe, is a byproduct of culture. And of course, I'm probably biased, but it's a good bias because I want to see that the opportunities of cultural industries come to life. And by doing so, it stimulates not only the economy of the cultural practitioners that produce the events, but it also causes consumer spending. It stimulates the economy overall, and that goes into the entire city's economy in doing well and affording everyone to enjoy the arts, but also be able to live comfortably or continue to build their business in a cultural manner whereby it would not be necessary to have different daytime jobs and do your cultural work as well, unless you so choose to. So with that, I know I've been talking a good little bit and it's 1:56. So I would now like to just be quiet for a minute and ask if there are any questions.
Well, Lisa, we have Lynette has joined us.
Okay,
So
great.
we'll go ahead and have Lynette present the InvestNOLA programming for high growth businesses of color. And then we'll do answer and questions at the end.
Perfect. Thank you all so much.
Hi, everybody. Margaret, am I able to share my screen?
You should be able to. Let me make sure.
Okay.
Yes, you can share your screen.
Okay, so everybody can see my screen. Okay, great. So today I'm going to talk to you guys about a program that we do at the New Orleans Business Alliance called InvestNOLA. And for those of you who don't know, the New Orleans Business Alliance is an economic development organization. We are nonprofit and we are in a public-private partnership with the city to do economic development for the city. We work in several different work streams on business and industry attraction, biohealth and innovation. We have a talent and workforce division, strategic neighborhood development, working in many of our high impact on disinvested communities. And then we also have a small business track of which I manage the small business work. So I'll be talking to you about a program that we launched in 2019 called InvestNOLA for high growth business owners. But before I do that, I wanted to just kind of share with you some of the tools that we have developed for small business owners. And it's just a very brief video, so you can just bear with me to hear that for just maybe a couple minutes. Okay, I thought the video was gonna go right away, but I'll get to it. Okay, here we go.
Well, we definitely know about that. Computers act right when you want them to.
Can you all hear it?
No, we can't hear anything.
Can you see it?
Yes, I see business, small business
Let me
tools.
try. Sorry, y'all can't hear it.
I mean, is it supposed to show like
resources based on services needed for every business, no matter their stage of growth? Select your industry, identify your life cycle stage, demographics, and resources needed, and the Crescent City Biz Connector maps your path to the right organization for your needs. Next up is the Opportunities Portal. Working with local private and public sector leaders, this tool could infuse millions of dollars into small businesses across the city. The portal allows businesses and public agencies to post procurement contract opportunities, connecting local small businesses to an expanding universe of earnings potential. Finally, through a collaboration with JP Morgan Chase and partners like Tulane and Xavier Universities, the New Orleans Business Alliance announces InvestNOLA, This program directly addresses the needs of entrepreneurs of color with high growth potential. Through education, access to capital, and opportunities, this initiative will help small businesses grow into middle market companies. All of these are accessible at NOLABA.org. One website, 4 growth options. The New Orleans Business Alliance. Culture, equity, prosperity.
All right. Okay. So the InvestNOLA program actually is a high growth ecosystem for high growth potential businesses owned by people of color. So I'll start almost from the beginning. And the work we did at NOLA BA was to first, check to see what we had available in our ecosystem for all of our small businesses, figure out what's working and who it's working for. So what we noticed back then was that there are a number of startup organizations and organizations that assist businesses at some level, be it funding, advising or training. But all of these organizations are mainly steeped in startup and early stage assistance. And so while we need that, there's still a whole cadre of businesses that are out there who are a lot further along, and they're looking for other resources to help to move their businesses to a higher level. So we found that there are a number of financial institutions, even some of those that are in business to sort of help underserved businesses, but they still are not meeting the needs of our entrepreneurs of color. And then we know that, businesses in order to grow really need to have access to contract opportunities. And while many of them are able to access public opportunities, the private sector is just not engaged. To make contract opportunities available. And so what we noticed from the disparity study that was done in the city in 2017 was that the city looked at $1 billion of contracts that they let over 3 years. And then what we found is that where the city let $1 billion, and I think there was like 29% that went to African-American owned businesses, we knew that the private sector actually has 50 times that much, right? So we know that we needed to engage our private sector organizations and corporations and our anchor institutions to make sure that they are putting opportunities out for those businesses of color. And then finally, we looked at the colleges and universities and pretty much found the same thing, that the entrepreneurial assistance they were providing also was steeped in startup and early stage. So I think we had found our lane, right? So we didn't want to step on toes. We didn't want to compete with all of the other organizations who we consider partners. And so we developed this growth, high growth ecosystem for those businesses that are already at $1 million in annual revenue, with the goal to get them to $10 million within 3 to 5 years. So we assembled an advisory board, a high-level board of individuals who had already grown successful businesses. We had folks that were managing funds that could actually support those businesses, business advisors, legal folks were in there. So we just wanted to make sure that we had people representative who would know, how best we could serve, that population. And then we identified, of course, the private sector market as being critical to the growth of those businesses. And we know that we needed to engage them in a meaningful way. And then finally, once we helped these businesses to get what they needed, they would need the money to implement, whatever strategies they put together to grow their businesses. And then we actually worked with Tulane and Xavier universities to develop a very high-level management education curriculum that really addressed the needs of those high-growth businesses to make sure that, they were able to get access to information that much larger businesses are normally getting the kind of information from. And so that sort of led us to this executive management education program that we did our first cohort with Tulane and Xavier universities. So with that high level curriculum, what we introduced those businesses to were strategies that they had not been accustomed to getting that kind of information, right? So rather than sort of work with them around how do you gain a few more customers, right? How do you market to make sure that you're getting some other customers? We are talking to these types of businesses about how do you buy another whole company so that you have a whole new book of business, right? So you're talking about getting another 1,000 customers at a time rather than going after one or two, right? We're talking to them about how to make sure that their businesses are steeped, in making sure that their businesses look attractive to some company that might be wanting to purchase their organization, right? And then, we have them to look at, what other opportunities they could take on, what other growth opportunities there are that they could add to their businesses. So for instance, if you were a construction firm and you focused on electrical, maybe mechanical, would be another area that you could bring into your business, right? So it means that if you became a subcontractor on a project, it means that you now can work in that project in two different areas, both a contract in electrical and a contract in mechanical. So those are the kinds of strategies that we work with them on in the executive management education. Each of the participants come out of the program where they have to build a growth plan that incorporates, what they identified as their growth opportunities. And then we assembled a number of both private and public sector organizations who had the mindset, to want to work with businesses of color and increase their organization spend with businesses of color. And so we have been working with this group now for about 2.5 years. There's about 24 of them all together. We host them monthly. They're a peer group working around strategies to increase their organizational spend with businesses of color. And one of the things that they asked us to do was to develop an electronic portal where they actually can upload opportunities to the portal. And, we have developed a pipeline of businesses, and that pipeline is actually based on opportunities that they've told us that they would have, upcoming. And so we market that opportunities portal to the pipeline of businesses of color, and hoping that, many of them are making matches and submitting bids for those contracts. Oops. And then finally, let's see. Okay, and then finally, we assembled 3 of our local community development financial institutions. And these are our CDFIs. These are financial institutions that are in business to work with underserved companies that normally cannot walk into a traditional bank and get funding. And so all 3 of these organizations have leaders of color. We've asked them to work together collaboratively to make sure that we're able to get the businesses enough capital, right? So sometimes a business might be able to go to a CDFI or go to a bank and maybe get a $100,000 line of credit, right? But if you're talking about maybe acquiring another company, what you may need is $1 million or $1.5 million or $2 million. And so the 3 of these organizations together can actually provide much more capital than any one of them can do individually. So the 3 of them together are collaborating to be able to give larger loans. And then they have built a product that's what we call Dequity, a patient capital product. So basically what that would look like is an entrepreneur needs $1 million to develop out his growth strategy. The 3 CDFIs each would lend $333,000 each to get, the business owner $1 million. And then based on some benchmarks that the entrepreneur has outlined in their growth strategy, we'll tailor the repayment terms of the loan to match those benchmarks. So that if the business owner says, it's going to take me 18 months to amass my strategy, to hire a few people, to get some new equipment, and to move in a bigger space with this $1 million, we want to give you the time to do that before you get burdened with having to pay that loan back the very next month. So that may look like either you could pay interest only on the loan for those 18 months while you're developing your strategy. You may not have any payments at all. We may just wait until that 18-month period, and then you can begin paying on the loan. So it's really just designed to be customized to the needs of the entrepreneur, just to make sure they're able to be successful in the businesses that they're growing. And so what I just outlined is the capital for that program. So by having a larger pool of capital with the 3 financial institutions, it actually sort of de-risk any one institution taking the lion's share of the risk. We're building a fund to $10 million, of which we've already raised $2 million. Technical assistance will be built into the fund. We'll be hiring a new business advisor who will work intently with those businesses to make sure that they're able to execute on those strategies that they've developed in the plans, and then helping them to package their loan requests to the fund. And each of the businesses actually were also provided, they were also provided, I went too far back, actually provided a mentor in the executive education program. So they had someone there that worked with them to make sure, that they were on track. In addition, we had this business advisor who also worked with them. So, we make sure that those supports are all baked into the program for those business owners, as well as, they have access to the NOLA BA staff that we work with them on a lot of different aspects, helping to connect them to capital, introducing them to, private sector procurement officers, different trainings that we continue to do with them, and just connecting them to other resources that we come across. So that's pretty much the program. And the one thing I didn't share was that we actually have been invited to participate in a National Entrepreneurs of Color Fund. It's actually a much, much larger fund, $350 million fund. And that actually will put a lot more money on the ground in New Orleans for businesses of color. So that's pretty much the program. And, I'm happy to take some questions as well.
Thank both of you ladies for that very informative presentation. So right now we'll go ahead and have question and answers. Anyone have any questions?
Oh, come on, we did better than that. Y'all have to have some questions.
Well, it sounds like to me y'all did so great that no one has any questions to ask. And by the way, I did share the Open NOLA grant website, the presentation. Sorry, we couldn't actually have it functioning for us today, but it's there for you in the chat box. And also the Open NOLA venue grant flyer. And Lynette will share with me her information, and I could also provide that to everyone that joined today.
Yeah, and there's our website address as well. And if anybody has any questions later, if y'all are just too shy, feel free to, give me a call or email me. Margaret has my information. Actually, I'll put my email address in the chat for anybody.
And I think we have one question coming in.
Okay, awesome.
Do we have a question coming in?
Yes, I had one particular question.
Okay, we're listening.
Yes, I was just wondering, what are some of the requirements for the grants, possibly? What are the typical requirements?
Okay, which one you're speaking of in particular? The Open NOLA
Um,
grant?
Yes, the NOLA grant in particular.
Yes, you just need to be a business, have an occupational license or applying for one. And as a business, just be in good standing with the Secretary of State with articles of incorporation.
Thank you so much.
Mhm.
Informative.
And if you or know of someone who has a great idea, but they do not have, excuse me one second, but they do not have a business, they're not established as a business, they can also seek support from a fiscal agent, and the person can serve as a fiscal agent to support them with their programming.
Thank you.
Okay, do we have any more questions?
And I would like to add just one other thing from the point of NLTCF, because we have expended the dollars, because there's been great need and great entrepreneurial ideas that are here to be supported. We have been directed through our board. We are going back to City Council in this year, and we're asking for an additional $500,000 so that we can continue to support the requests and applications that are coming in for this year. So as I've shown you that there were 2 different grants that were open at this time, it was only because the funding is dwindling low. But once we get the approval to move forward with the additional funding, we will open up all tabs and be able to fund all level ideas. Thank you.
I see someone said that they can't see the resources that I included in the chat box. Can everyone confirm that you all can see this?
Yeah, they may need to just scroll upward.
Mm-hmm. It should be the website, the presentation, and a flyer. And Lynette also included NOLA BA's website and her email. So with that, is there any more questions for us?
Yeah, make sure there's a scroll button on the side of the chat box.
Yeah,
it is kind of hard to see it. And if you can use that to scroll up, you should be able to get back up to the top.
And I think Lisa just shared with us the New Orleans Tourism and Cultural Fund email.
Jaron, was your hand raised for a question?
Yes, my hand was raised. Maybe I can't see all the flyer and the other resources because I tuned in a little late.
No, it should still be in the chat box for you. That's what she's saying. You may have to take the little thing on the side and go up so you can see the beginning of the chat.
Yeah, I tried that. It doesn't give me that.
It don't work?
Yeah, it doesn't work.
Okay.
You might be on your phone.
I'm on my laptop.
I believe when you sign in to the meeting late, you only see the chats that have been available since you
okay.
signed
But no
in.
problem. I'll definitely
And I copied.
send those to him.
Okay, thank you.
So if there's no more questions at this time, we'll go ahead and conclude this session. I would like to thank both of my speakers again for those informative presentations, all of you for attending today's session. We will have another session on tomorrow. Tomorrow, we will have someone from Fund 17. She's going to tell us about the Kiva crowdfunding program that they have. We're going to also have someone from Delgado Community College, and they're going to tell us about the 10,000 Small Business Program. I would love to see you guys there. Thank you again, and have a great day.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks a lot.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.